Orochimaru went from the ninja era to the modern technology era. Alone I want to reincarnate again, but unfortunately, I find that no one in modern society has the qualification of a ninja. Looking back at the past, Orochimaru also understood his true intention. If he could choose, he would not have embarked on this path of blackening. Take out the cracked version of the time and space treasure and use the spiritual technique to return to the past. I have given up my past self, and I want all my parents, friends, and loved ones in this life. Who says my snake uncle doesn't understand love? Chapter 1. Orochimaru is unexpectedly a useless person. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Handsome men and beautiful women sign in. Change the picture. Hiss, Woo-woo. No, Lord Orochimaru, that's not possible. I'm not ready yet, The long tongue of Orochimaru entered the woman's mouth in front of her, and after detecting that she had no ninja potential and could not undergo reincarnation, she released a small snake and bit her to death. Damn it, is immortality really a curse? In modern technological society, there isn't even a ninja left. What's the point of my reincarnation? Having learned all the ninjutsu in the world, it has no effect in the end. Success is technology, failure is technology. Due to long-term reincarnation, the soul of Orochimaru has become incomplete and somewhat neurotic, splitting into two white and black snakes. White snake. Instead of pursuing eternal life without any pursuit of pleasure, it's better to spend a brilliant and dazzling life. Black snake. It's better to live than to die. As long as I'm reliable enough, the Grim Reaper has no way of dealing with me. Tangible things will eventually be destroyed, and intangible things will last forever. White snake. But the invisible soul without a body will eventually become the past tense. Black snake. If Seiue had chosen to constantly reincarnate, we wouldn't have been so lonely. White snake. Yes, even if a clone is like a human, it will eventually be difficult to fully become a human. It is not as good as a natural person, but he has chosen his own life, which is also a kind of happiness. Black snake. It's just that. What's the point of saying these things? We can't just move forward and move back. As long as we move forward, there is hope in life. Didn't we improve the function of the time and space treasure before? White snake. Are you saying go back to the past? Even if you go back, you still have to erase memories. What's the point? Black snake. Isn't it good for us to directly cross the soul body and take away our own body? White snake. It has to be you. You're so cruel to yourself, it doesn't matter. I'm just a part of my consciousness. Then come on. The two consciousnesses in Orochimaru's mind, who had already suffered from schizophrenia, reached a consensus and began to control the time and space treasure. With the launch of the time treasure, Orochimaru used the technique of spiritual transformation, which was a forbidden technique learned by Orochimaru from the deceased Kato Duan and now comes in handy. I don't know why, but Orochimaru has a special fondness for forbidden techniques. As long as it's forbidden, he must study it thoroughly, just like being stunned. In the 16th year of the Kiba era, the middle-aged monkey flying Raju looked at Orochimaru, who had just graduated from ninja school, and was lost in thought with Tsunade. Orochimaru, a child from a common family, is a super genius with the highest score. Laiya, also from a commoner background with a loose personality, can still succeed with guidance. Gangshou, the first granddaughter of Hokage, a genius girl. She has a sensitive identity, but it's not a big problem. Teacher, she wants me to cultivate Gangshou. Monkey Flying Sun / First time meeting, I am your team leader, Monkey Flying Sun / However, if you want to become my disciple, you still need a test, which is to grab the bell. Jiraiya said, we have 3 people, why only have 2 bells? Orochimaru said, so, one of us will be eliminated, right? Monkey Flying Sun Slash. Very insightful, Orochimaru. Zilai also pursed his lips in defiance, and Gangshou couldn't bear to look down and said. Laiya, don't be discouraged by tying it to a wooden stake later. Laiya said, Gangshou, dare you bet that if I grab the bell, you'll go on a date with me? Gangshou. Humph, don't even bother me after losing, but I bet you will be tied to a wooden stake. Monkey Flying Sun Slash. Attack with the determination to kill me, one search. The three of them quickly left their original positions and hid in hiding places. Monkey Flying Sun Slash watched as the three of them hid, nodding to himself. The little ones were pretty good. Before he could finish being happy, he saw Zilai rushing to the bell trap he had set up like a fool and hanging himself in the air. Monkey Flying Sun slashed his face with a black line, and Zilai was also to that. You can't escape such a simple trap, are you still a ninja? Gangshou. Zilai is also that fool, he doesn't even know how to feint, he rushes over like a fool. Orochimaru. You're really a fool. Zilai kept wriggling like a big bug, taking out his sword and cutting the rope, but as soon as he landed, he fell into a pit in the soil and found it difficult to move. Monkey Flying Sun Slash. How can I say that? Laiya, this child is really indescribable. Gangshou and Orochimaru seized the opportunity as they watched the Monkey Flying Sun Slash, who was also commenting on Zilai. The art of sword in hand, the clones of Orochimaru and Tsunade simultaneously wielded their swords, but were blocked by the earth flow wall cut by the Monkey Flying Sunday. Tsunade and Orochimaru took the opportunity to wrap around the back and take down the bell. Monkey Flying Sun Slash. Is it a clone attack or a body ambush? It's really a good tactic. Gangshou looked at Zilai, who was tied to a wooden stake, with a bell in his hand and said, I won. I'll bet you'll be tied to the stake. As expected. Zilai also said a bit angrily, shut up, your chest is flat like a washboard. What are you talking about, you theoretical and lascivious kid? Let me see if I can kill you, said Gangshouchi, pulling Zilai in pain. Gangshou grabbed Zilai and output wildly, staring blankly at the nearby ape Flying Sun Slash and Orochimaru. Orochimaru thought to himself, why bother Gangshou? Women are so troublesome, what a plain thing to say. Monkey Flying Sun Slash looked at the two people who were still fighting and said, enough of the noise. Gangshou and Orochimaru go back first, and Zilai will also stay. Gangshou made a face for Laiya and left with Orochimaru, leaving Laiya and the Monkey Flying Sun slaying teacher behind. Monkey Flying Sun Slash looked at Zilai, who had an indifferent expression, and said, you really are. What happened to the obvious traps that ninjas have encountered multiple times? Zilai also insinuated, because. Monkey Flying Sun Slash. Learn a little from Orochimaru. Zilai also said with a bit of anger, Teacher Ape Fei's mouth is like Big Snake Maru, it's really annoying. Monkey Flying Sun Slash. Laiya said, I also use the powerful technique of penetration and evasion while peeping. Monkey Flying Sun Slash. How powerful is the thorough escape you're talking about? Laiya said, I haven't been discovered yet, that's true. Ape Flying Sun Slash suddenly turned a little red and said, since you've talked about this, I'll go with you next time. Laiya said, I didn't expect the teacher to be an old pervert too. Monkey Flying Sun Slash quickly covered Laiya's mouth and said, don't scream, I'll teach you a powerful ninjutsu. Zilai also looked disdainful and said, what powerful ninjutsu can you have? The Monkey Flying Sun Slash directly teleported out the monkey demon, which shocked Zilai. He made a fuss and asked the monkey flying teacher to teach him teleportation skills. 2 flowers bloomed, each showing 1 branch. Orochimaru bid farewell to Itachi Tsunezuru and returned home. Chapter 2. I Lost Myself. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Upon returning home, Orochimaru met his parents and was very happy to learn that Orochimaru had become a student of the monkey-flying Sun Slayer. You should know that the monkey-flying Sun Slayer is a popular figure in front of the second-generation Hokage, and there are even rumors that he is the heir of the second-generation Hokage. Becoming his disciple means a bright future. After finishing his meal, Orochimaru also rested early. He was too tired today and went straight to bed. Just as he was sleeping drowsily, a spatial passage suddenly appeared next to Orochimaru. In the spatial channel, the black and white snake spirit shuttles through it, with countless memories of time pouring in, and one can easily get lost if not careful. The black snake and the white snake feel that their spiritual bodies are rapidly consuming, and the strong wind in the spatial channel consumes a lot of their spiritual bodies. Although they felt where they were before, the black snake and the white snake felt exhausted, and even their spiritual bodies were almost unable to sustain themselves. Black snake. This won't work. I'm worried that my spirit will be annihilated before it reaches its destination. White snake. So what's the solution? Who knew the spiritual body was so fragile? Kato cut me off. Black snake. Damn it, white snake, I burned the last spiritual body and injected it into your spiritual body. You must succeed. White snake. I didn't expect black snake that you would be willing to sacrifice yourself. Don't worry, I will definitely succeed. The black soul energy, like ink, injected into the spirit body of the white snake, forming a black protective shield. Burning itself to illuminate others, the white snake finally arrived at the end of the space passage, looking at the depleted black snake's soul power and feeling a sigh. The sleeping Orochimaru had no sensation, and a white light entered his mind from the spatial channel. Orochimaru had a long dream when a guy who called himself the White Snake Fairy entered his consciousness, and his consciousness space was being filled with a large amount of memory. Orochimaru felt that his consciousness was being swallowed up by the vast sea of memories, like a powerless feeling of a flat boat facing the sea. But soon he perked up. This was his own consciousness space, and even the White Snake Immortal, the Six Paths Immortal, could not annihilate his consciousness. Orochimaru's consciousness began to erode the vast sea of memories, little by little, like a greedy snake. I don't know how long it took, but Orochimaru's consciousness gradually took the initiative and he also learned about the other party's purpose. Orochimaru said, "You are actually the future me. If that's the case, why do you still want to sacrifice yourself?" White Snake. A person's world is too lonely, wanting to change the future. Orochimaru said, "It's been like that for hundreds of years, why can't you let go? Leave everything to me now. You know, if you give up me now, your soul will become even more incomplete and you will fall into a dead cycle. Is this what you want?" White Snake. What else? Black Snake died because of me, I must succeed. Orochimaru. Black Snake wants a stronger and more hopeful Orochimaru, not an old mischievous child with a broken soul. Give me everything, and I will become the strongest myself with your memories. Tightly eating ahead and tightly eating behind, Orochimaru uses his mouth to dissuade the consciousness of the White Snake, constantly devouring memory fragments and strengthening his own consciousness. The White Snake looked at the current Orochimaru as if it had been enlightened, and the consequence of being too persistent was that it was too easy to get stuck in a corner. White Snake. Sure enough, we're still getting old. The road got off course at the beginning, and it's still the same if we continue. Before, I thought about turning into the wind and driving the windmill myself, but now I realize the joy of waiting for the wind to rise. The wind is me, and the windmill is also me. Since that's the case, let's become an electric fan. It can both fan and rotate. Shouta Snake Maru, you have successfully convinced me. This is my last strength and hundreds of years of experience and technological achievements. It's time for me to go find the Black Snake. I am finally liberated, ha ha ha. Lying in bed, Orochimaru was soaked and sticky all over. After inheriting the memory of the white snake, he finally understood where his future self had reached. If it weren't for the lack of soul and schizophrenia, my future self would be comparable to the only goddess of Okoboki, Himeji. This powerful self travels through many times just to find its own path, demonstrating the importance of the path of perseverance. After spending another whole night, Orochimaru finally integrated those memories and understood the reality of the world. It is not an exaggeration to say that the current Orochimaru has become a person who knows everything, including Heijue's search for his mother, the invasion of the Otakuni clan, and the future of modern technology, all of which are in his mind. One person's world is too lonely, 2 people's love is sweet, 3 people's love is not crowded, 4 people's love is just right, 5 people's love is 4 hearts collapsed, 6 people's love is colorful, 7 people's love is smooth, 8 people's love is strange, 9 people's love is exquisite, 10 people's love is 9 or 9 in 1. Orochimaru believes that his future self is too indifferent, without even a partner in his lifetime. Although he has 2 nominal sons, they are both clones, which is better than nothing. The current Orochimaru seems to have opened up the Ren and Du meridians, and its longing for male and female affairs has reached its peak. Orochimaru said, "It seems that in the future, I will be more gentle with Gungate. I used to be just too straight, and even my best girlfriend has been sent to someone else's hands. There's also Laiya. Although he has never received it before, it's annoying to keep coveting Gangshou. Find a chance to make him stop thinking." Orochimaru has already done everything in his heart to make Tsunade admire him and further fall in love with him, but it will take time step by step. Orochimaru said, "My parents seem to have a few more years left, and there's still time. It seems like my future self started to darken at that time, becoming the one I detest the most." Orochimaru began to plan everything for the future. Possessing all the memories of the future is like guarding a mountain of gold and silver. As long as he slowly and systematically develops, he can fully live to death. But his future self has proven everything. This kind of life is not what he wants is a rich and colorful life, not a lonely old age. The primary task is to improve one's own strength. After all, one's current strength is only a matter of endurance, and one's own strength has rapidly improved in the past few years following Teacher 8 flying. The most important thing is teleportation. Although I can do it now, I still need an opportunity. Tomorrow is a good opportunity. Tomorrow, Zillai will definitely show off his mastery of spiritual communication skills. In my memory, Zillai has already arrived at Miamu Mountain, and I should also meet the real White Snake Immortal. In my future memory, I only learned the method of summoning various large snakes by obtaining some inheritance secret scrolls from Longdi Cave, which greatly increased his strength. Chapter 3. Do you think teleportation is difficult to learn? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Orochimaru is eagerly anticipating tomorrow's arrival, and everything is full of hope. That's why White Snake ultimately gave up. Tomorrow arrived as scheduled, and Orochimaru happily finished breakfast. Last night's experience was like walking from hell. Today, seeing her parents gave her a sincere sense of happiness. It is precisely because of experiencing loss that I realize that my current life is not easy one, and Orochimaru has also made up his mind to prevent tragedy from happening. But everything must be built on strong strength, otherwise everything will still develop according to its original trajectory. Sure enough, as soon as Orochimaru arrived at the training ground, he saw Zillai boasting about his psychic skills in front of Tsunade, his tail almost flying up to the sky. Gangshou looked at Zillai, who was proud, and said, "Why are you so proud, you spiritual toad?" Laiya said, "What do you know? This is a toad from the 3 sacred sites of Miamu Mountain, with no knowledge at all." Gangshou. What? Isn't the toad in Miamu Mountain a toad? Are they more powerful than toads in other places? The Monkey Flying Sun Slaying Science Popularization Road said, "The 3 holy sites of Miamu Mountain are very mysterious places. It is said that there is a tradition of immortal magic, and I have been lucky since then. I accidentally signed a contract with Miaomu Mountain. Although Orochimaru had known for a long time, he still pretended not to know and said, "Since we are so powerful, can we also sign contracts with other holy sites?" Gangshou. Yes, can we also sign a contract with the Holy Land? Monkey Flying Sun said, "This requires luck. I will teach you the techniques of spiritual communication first, but this is quite difficult. You can practice it slowly, don't worry." Gangshou started practicing directly, but didn't get to the point. After all, teleportation is an advanced ninjutsu, which is difficult for humans. Laiya said, "Gangshou, don't worry, I'll teach you if you don't know." Gangshou said, "I'll use you to teach me. Let's just wait and go." Monkey Flying Sun Snake Maru, come and cast it once. If there's anything wrong, I can guide you. Maru skillfully cast it once, and a burst of smoke appeared, with a snake biting a scroll in its mouth. Orochimaru tried to pretend to be confused and said, "Why did a snake appear and bite the scroll? Did I succeed?" Before Ape Flying Sun could explain, the snake spoke up and said, "I am the three great holy earth dragons, the cave green snake. I was ordered by the white snake immortal to send a teleportation contract scroll to Big Snake Maru." Although Orochimaru had long known about the purpose of the green snake, he was still surprised. In his past life, he summoned himself many times to obtain the spiritual signing scroll. He didn't expect to succeed in one attempt now. Did the old lady of the white snake fairy notice something? Watching Orochimaru remain indifferent, Ape Flying Sun was stunned when Green Snake spoke and said, "Orochimaru, what are you still waiting for? This is the strongest Lomdi cave in the three holy sites. It's a great opportunity that no one else can ask for, so why don't you sign your name? It's a great honor, just write your name and press your fingerprint," said Orochimaru to Qingshi. "Yes, Orochimaru." After signing the spiritual contract, Qingshi said, "I will use the reverse spiritual spell to take you to the dragon cave for testing. Sign a spiritual beast. Do you still need to prepare?" Orochimaru said, "No need, I have a telepathic beast since then. I'm in a hurry." Monkey Flying Sun Big Snake Maru, I know you're very anxious, but don't worry for now. To tame the spirit beast, you need to adjust your state to the best. Rest for an hour, and then the green snake will reverse its spirit." Orochimaru looked at the green snake and said, "Then follow what Teacher Ape Fei said, and after an hour, reverse telepathize." A burst of smoke appeared, and the green snake returned directly to the dragon cave. Gangshou was the most depressed person now, shaking the arm of Ape Flying Sun and saying, "Teacher Ape Flying, teach me some tricks quickly. Even the big snake Maru is fine. Since then, that guy has learned the technique of teleportation. If this continues, I will become a drag. You don't want my second grandfather to come to you, do you?" Monkey Flying Sun pulled his face and said, "There's really no secret to this psychic technique. You just need to master it a few more times. I must have secretly practiced it all night since then, otherwise it wouldn't be possible to master it." Gangshou. Is that really the case? Teacher Yuanfei. Monkey Flying Sun It's even more real than real gold. Otherwise, when Orochimaru is finished, you can ask him for advice. Gangshou. Alright then. That's all we have to do. Monkey Flying Sun slashed a black line on his face and finally sent away the troublesome gang hand. As he looked at Orochimaru, who was working hard to restore chakra, he became more and more satisfied. Having such apprentices, being a master has hardly achieved any teaching success, but this is the trouble of genius, right? Everything is too simple for them, it has both advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is that no matter what it is easy to learn it all at once, but it is also easy to lose respect for the unknown, which is not conducive to further growth. Zilai also looked at Gangshou, who had been practicing hard, and hinted that he could help, but he scolded him and took him away. After a burst of smoke, Orochimaru had arrived at Longdi Cave, one of the 3 sacred sites. Sure enough, the first challenge is Snake G's culinary test. Although these foods are delicious, for Orochimaru, who has hundreds of years of memory, no food can shake his heart. It was easy to pass the first level, and Orochimaru arrived at the second level. He completed the puzzle on the door and easily completed it. In fact, the most difficult part is still the third level. In his past life, Orochimaru died tragically due to his cherished parents and beloved disciple, lacking in emotions and unable to pass. However, the current Orochimaru not only has not lost any relatives, but also has hundreds of years of memory. Dealing with this level can be said to be very simple. The reason why Orochimaru was directly subjected to Serpentine's 3 tests was because the White Snake Fairy sensed Orochimaru's chakra. The current Orochimaru has absorbed some of the power of the White Snake, and its affinity for the magical chakra is simply terrifying. After Orochimaru used the psychic technique, the White Snake Fairy already felt Orochimaru's affinity for the fairy technique chakra, so he immediately sent the green snake to send the psychic signing scroll. Having passed the 3 major tests of Snake Lady, Orochimaru met the White Snake Immortal. Although he remembered seeing the White Snake Immortal in the future, it was not what he saw with his own eyes now. The White Snake Immortal this time is a huge white phosphorus snake, and he spoke out, "Little Snake Maru, I didn't expect you to pass the test of 3 snake empresses at a young age and have the qualification to cultivate my Dragon Cave Immortal art. This is the cultivation method of the immortal art, but don't try it lightly. Wait until you are familiar with the method of guiding natural energy before practicing. Dashi Maru. Thank you to the White Snake Immortal for giving me the opportunity to learn the Longdi Cave Fairy. White Snake Immortal. This is a process of mutual selection. Now you can go and choose your spiritual companions. Let me recommend them to you. Zhen Zhen, AI, Lien Lien. Chapter 4. True Love for Lotus. You are listening at novelfull.audio. White Snake Fairy, I'm choosing a spiritual partner, not a marriage partner. There's no need to deal with all the female snakes, said Orochimaru with a black expression on his face. White Snake Fairy. Human child, psychic beasts are far more reliable than your human companions. Even if you want to marry snake concubine, you have to ask them if they agree. For them, humans are just food. Orochimaru had a cold expression on his face. He never expected that he would play with snakes all his life in the future, and even become half human and half snake. It was almost impossible to meet the real Snake Lady. After all, he would just vomit and play on his own. Orochimaru. Oh, so what kind of big snakes are true love Lotus? White Snake Immortal. The full name of Zhen Zhen is Zhen. 10,000 snakes have the strongest combat power, are selfish and indifferent, are relatively arrogant, like to eat people, and are difficult to tame. The full name of AI is AI. The green snake is the fastest, humble and kind, very gentle, likes humans, and is easy to tame. The full name of Lien Lien is Lien. Xianya, with scales, a wild personality, the ability to use petrified venom, and a solitary temperament. However, if recognized by it, it will be the best spiritual companion. Orochimaru finally understood the meaning of the White Snake Immortal. Unexpectedly, in his past life, he didn't know that Wanshi still had this nickname. That guy really didn't truly recognize him, he had such a bad personality. Just like how people only know the 9 tails and not the 9 llamas. Orochimaru smiled and said, adults make choices, I want everything. White Snake Immortal. People's hearts are not strong enough for snakes to swallow elephants. Little Big Snake Maru still emphasizes gradual progress in everything. Orochimaru. Ordinary people do need to go step by step, but I'm a genius. So. Understand. The White Snake Fairy smiled as she looked at Orochimaru. She had lived for thousands of years and had not seen such an interesting human in a long time. White Snake Immortal. 3 snake concubines, take this kid to the great snake's nest to select spiritual companions. Orochimaru followed Snake G to a mountain peak full of holes. Looking around, snakes lived in each hole. Undoubtedly the leader of the 3 holy sites, possessing so many great snakes with terrifying strength, the great Snake Maru followed the snake lady towards the depths of the nest. There were many big snakes hissing on the road, but they dared not act recklessly when they saw Snake G. Finally, he arrived at the largest hole, and Orochimaru knew that it was the residence of Wan Shi. After all, he had come here in his memory. Wan Snake sensed the arrival of Snake Lady, as well as the fragrance of humanity, and also appeared in front of everyone. Wan Shi. Sister Sheiji, you've come, and you've brought my favorite human dim sum, so I'll accept them. Snake Lady. 10,000 snakes, do not be reckless. But before Snake G could finish speaking, Wan Snake's big mouth had already swallowed Big Snake Maru into her stomach. Snake G's face changed drastically and she said, 10,000 snakes, this is the inheritor chosen by the White Snake Immortal. How could you eat him? Wan Shi. What inheritor, didn't you bring dim sum? But to their shock, Orochimaru appeared intact in front of them and said, truly, you're too enthusiastic. You kiss me so hard when we meet, and I can't stand it anymore. Sister Serpentine, step back and let's have a romantic relationship. Orochimaru directly telepathized and released the grass pheasant sword. After mastering the telepathic technique, Orochimaru immediately telepathized and released the grass pheasant sword, which is his standard artifact. One move, the Rui retractable sword, directly slams the unprepared 10,000 snakes onto the wall. The great snake Maru gains momentum and uses the earth-escaping rock to collapse, pressing the 10,000 snakes into the cave. Wan Shi, who was hit by a series of combos, had a disheveled face and rushed out of the hole to kill Orochimaru. However, the oncoming fireball put it in a dilemma. The 10,000 snakes, which were burning fiercely, crazily bit at the big snake pill. The big snake pill calmly unleashed the earth escape triple Ra Gate. Wan Shi, who had already accelerated successfully, came straight to her face and was hit by the triple Rashomon, causing her to feel dizzy and dizzy. In a fit of impatience, Wan Shi fainted to death. Snake G woke up Wan Snake, and Orochimaru was looking at Wan Snake with great interest. Wan Shi looked at Orochimaru and said, Orochimaru, I admit you are very strong and qualified to be my combat partner. But if you want to telepathize with me in the future, you need to prepare 50. No, 100 people as sacrifices. Orochimaru summoned the grass pheasant sword and placed it around Wan Shi's neck, saying, speak up, I can't hear you. Can you say it again? Wan Shi was startled and said, Orochimaru. Your Highness, I mean whenever you need me, I'm on call. Orochimaru said, oh, Wan Shi. It's not true, you're very good. Come and sign the contract. After signing a spiritual contract, Orochimaru patted Wan Shi and said, come on, really lie down and take me to Shinya's place. Wan Shi said, Big Snake Maru. Lord, why are you looking for Xianya? That guy has a bad temper and a hard mind, and when he goes crazy, no one will buy him. Do you have a good personality? You still have the face to talk to others. Hurry up and lead the way, said Orochimaru as he looked at Wan Shi, whose mouth was shattered grasping the small horn on the head of Wan Snake. Wan urged Wan Snake to hurry on and soon arrived at the place where Xianya was located. Xianya felt the arrival of Wan Shi and said, Wan Shi, how come you have time to come to my place? Didn't you play enough last time? Wan Shi said, you thought I wanted to come to your place. It was Lord Orochimaru who asked me to bring him over. Xianya just saw the humans on the head of Wan Shi. That's what Wan Shi meant by adults. Although she was just a child, Wan Shi kept going back and forth. Xianya disdainfully said, 10,000 snakes haven't been seen for a while. Why did you pull so hard? It's ridiculous to call a child an adult. She didn't speak, but in her heart she wanted to see Xinya's joke. Looking down on Orochimaru would be a big loss. Orochimaru. Hello, Xinya. I am Orochimaru and I would like you to become my spiritual companion. Is that okay? Xinya looked at the sincere Orochimaru, but due to its solitary nature, it didn't want to interact with anyone, so she also said, I don't want to get involved in meaningless disputes. You go. Orochimaru said, Xinya, do you have all the skills but want to die quietly in this cave? Instead of doing so, why not follow me to create brilliant achievements? Xinya said, just you still have brilliant achievements. I don't know how you convinced Shi. If it's just your mouth, it would be too disappointing. Defeat me, I'll think about it. Orochimaru said, indeed, I am not as powerful as Naruto's mouth evasion. Since that's the case, then let's see Xinjiang under my hands. Lay done. Snake thunder. Countless snake-shaped lightning rushed towards Xinya, and the huge Xinya did not completely dodge, trembling and smoking from the electricity. Chapter 5. 3 Great Spiritual Beasts. You are listening at novelfull.audio. She was also very surprised as she watched Orochimaru use Thunder Escape. She had seen Orochimaru use Fire Escape and Earth Escape before, but now she is using Thunder Escape. Is it true that Orochimaru has 3 attributes? It's simply amazing. You should know that in general, only one chakra property can be used for lower tolerance, and there are only 2 types of middle tolerance, while the 3 types of upper tolerance are very rare. Orochimaru has mastered so many chakra properties at a young age, and the future is promising. Xinya was attacked by lightning and instantly became furious, spitting out a fragrant aroma and a stream of petrified venom sprayed towards Shiwan. In the face of danger, Shiwan calmly uses water escape to flush the waves, just like the water flow of a high-pressure water gun colliding directly with petrochemical venom. Although the petrochemical venom initially dispersed the water flow for a while, it was not sustainable. Cutting the sword and cutting off the water makes the water flow even more. That's what it means. The water escaping water rush ultimately broke through Xinya's petrified venom. You should know that this is Xinya's ultimate move, and I didn't expect it to be broken so easily. Taking advantage of the moment when Xinya was stunned, Orochimaru made a great breakthrough by catching the wind and escaping, directly causing Xinya's huge body to be wrapped and collide with the rock wall, turning around in a daze. Orochimaru directly used the instant body technique and arrived at the 7-inch mark of Xinya. She used the grass pheasant sword to lift the piece of scales down, and Xinya's body instantly softened. The frenzy in Xinya's eyes softened instantly, as if he had replaced a snake and said, Orochimaru, your strength has been recognized by me. Sign the contract. Orochimaru caressed Xinya's forehead and created a spiritual contract formation. The formation entered the foreheads of the two, and the spiritual contract was completed. Xinya and Shi both became the spiritual companions of Orochimaru. Qingxi had long known about all of this and signed a spiritual contract with Orochimaru without saying a word. Both Shi and Xinya are stronger than the green snake, and the recognition of Shiwan by them is definitely achieved by demonstrating their strong strength. That's why Qingxi signed directly with Orochimaru. After all, she doesn't want to be as disheveled as Shi and Shinya. From then on, Orochimaru also possessed 3 spiritual beasts, the True Love Lotus, 3 great snakes, exceeding his goal. The White Snake Immortal was also a bit surprised when he heard Snake G's report. Although he felt that Orochimaru was not simple, he was still a bit incredulous when he heard that he had received the recognition of his true love, Lien Lien. After signing the spiritual contract, Orochimaru also returned to the training ground because he knew that Tsunade was still waiting for him, which was a good opportunity. Zilai's bad personality and his preconceived LSP image in front of Gangshou have cut off his potential for further development, let alone his own handsome comparison here. Speaking of which, I was also a reliable little Zhengtai at this time. Why did I later become the feared cold lord Snake Maru? Orochimaru began to reflect on himself, how to make his image more positive, and absolutely correct his cold and negative image. Upon seeing the appearance of Orochimaru, Tsunade also grabbed his arm and began to act coquettishly for 3 times. Orochimaru, can you teach him some psychic skills? How about I treat you to delicious food? Orochimaru really has no resistance to the set of Gangshou. Although he has those memories, he still has a youthful nature. Memories only increase his experience and vision, but do not change his personality. Deshimaru, who is willing to help others, seriously taught Tsunade some small skills. After all, he has hundreds of years of memory, and all ninjutsu is not difficult for him. In the future, the monkey flying sun / was known as the Doctor of Ninjutsu, but now it can only be called the Master of Ninjutsu, and Orochimaru can be called the God of Ninjutsu. So teach Gangshou to be completely at ease, and soon Gangshou, under the guidance of Orochimaru, also mastered the technique of spiritual communication proficiently. After Gungate's success, he passionately kissed Orochimaru, which made Zilai's envious back teeth bite apart. Gangshou, what are you doing? Said Orochimaru, with a big red face caused by Gangshou. This is a reward for you. Orochimaru looked at the straightforward Tsunade with great helplessness. Sure enough, Tsunade still had this kind of temperament, daring to love and hate, so her ending was not good. It's not her who is wrong, but this world. This world is filled with endless darkness, especially among the high-ranking ninjas in Ninamura. Those innocent and lovely ninjas all died tragically. Kato Duan is like this, Gensho Rope Tree is also like this, even the 4th generation Hokage Wave Fengshui Gate is like this. In his memory, he was unable to change the world and fell into darkness. If he couldn't fight, he joined in. Although he eventually became whitewashed, he didn't give up on studying everything, which allowed him to live until the last moment. To prevent the gears of fate from turning, one needs to be wary of their old partner, Shimura Tanzo. Although he has not yet turned black, there are already signs of him. Jitsuan Tuanzang had always wanted to become Hokage, but was completely overshadowed by his teacher, Monkey Flying Sun / Especially after the death of the 2nd generation Hokage, Monkey Flying Sun / became the 3rd generation Hokage. Jitsuan Tuanzang's mentality collapsed and completely blackened out, planning many conspiracies, many of which involved the involvement of Orochimaru. Orochimaru knows that Tanzo is not a material for Hokage, but he has a knack for plotting. Even his blackened self lacks a bit of ruthlessness compared to him. If Orochimaru relies on his personal charm and conquers others with virtue, Tanzo is doing everything he can to the extreme, doing everything he can to disgust and be despised by others. Orochimaru still needs to get in touch with him when he has time, after all, he is his old partner. He understands that in order to achieve something, he still needs someone to carry the blame. Sitting at home, Jitsuan Tuanzang suddenly felt a chill, as if being stared at by a snake. He randomly scanned around and saw a snake in the corner of the wall. With a blade of wind and vacuum jade, he chopped the snake into pieces. Orochimaru sensed that his surveillance snake had been killed, and he felt a bit helpless. He truly deserved to be the future shadow of the pot, and his vigilance was quite strong. However, this is not important. There are plenty of surveillance snakes, and that one is only the most visible. There are also several surveillance snakes working diligently in the dark. Deshimaru was grilling meat with Gangshou, and Zilai was enjoying his meal. However, when he saw Gangshou and Deshimaru so close together, the grilled meat in his hand was no longer fragrant and turned into lemon essence. Zilai also said, Orochimaru, what's the situation between you and Gangshou? Don't deliberately approach Gangshou just to get angry. Last time you said you like girls with big breasts and buttocks, why can't you even take a liking to Gangshou's tablets? It's a bit of a desperate situation. Orochimaru said, Laiya, what are you barking about in a dog? Don't just say grapes are sour because you can't eat them. And don't slander me, sexiness is useless in front of cuteness. With a punch, Gangshou flipped Laiya to the ground and said shyly, are you praising me for being cute, Orochimaru? Chapter 6. Youth Invincible Beautiful Girl Gangshou. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Orochimaru looked at Laiya's head covered in buns and said calmly, you can't help but understand me so well. Gangshou's face turned red and he said, how do I feel like you're a bit strange, Orochimaru? Orochimaru looked shocked and thought to himself, did Tsunade notice my difference, but I didn't show any signs of weakness. Just as Orochimaru was pondering where he was different from usual, Tsunade watched him freeze in place and stomped his foot in hatred, saying, it's so cute. After recovering from God, Laiya was also shocked by the unfashionable love words of Gangshou. Even the big snake meal was a little shocked by the words of Gangshou. It's really brave. Gangshou, you, said Orochimaru after Gangshou finished speaking. He also felt his face burning, so he quickly ran out, and Orochimaru quickly chased after him. After chasing after each other, only the onlookers were left, and Laiya also felt that he had eaten enough dog food. He went out in a daze, but was told by the salesperson that he had not paid yet. Laiya was also a bit overwhelmed by the repeated blows, and directly turned his grief and anger into cultivation. He reversed his spiritual path to Miamu Mountain, just in time for Jima Immortal's insect feast, which was truly tragic. Orochimaru caught up with Tsunade and said, although you are very cute, Tsunade, we are still too young to talk about love. At this stage, the most important thing is still cultivation, and I aim for Hokage. Do you understand? Gangshou nodded and said, I understand everything. I will wait for you, and I will also work hard. Maybe I will become Huoying first before you. You won't accept me then. Orochimaru looked at Gangshou with a serious expression on his face and knew he couldn't persuade her. His move of taking a step back and advancing had also achieved good results. Although he wanted to conquer Gangshou, if the intention was too obvious, it would only cause her resentment, which was a lesson from the past. Laiya also worked hard and practiced crazily at Miamu Mountain. Even the Toad boss admired Laiya a bit. Only the Shinzwa Immortal understood that Laiya was also stimulated. Orochimaru returned home and secretly practiced the immortal mode. Now, his body has reached the minimum requirements for practicing immortal magic, thanks to absorbing some of the power of the white snake, and his body has been modified to be close to the immortal body. This has greatly enhanced Orochimaru's chakra and recovery abilities, otherwise he wouldn't be able to use Wuduan ninjutsu so easily, even if he had hundreds of years of memory. Fairy magic is the fusion of the physical energy, spiritual energy, and natural energy of a ninja, which can enhance the attacker's attack and defense, and exponentially increase the attack power of body magic ninjutsu and illusion. Orochimaru's magic is inherited from the Longdi Cave, and he has studied the Longdi Cave's magic and Chongwu's curse imprint transformation magic, and has developed a perfect magic mode, which is the Moon Immortal mode. As the saying goes, the cultivation method of the immortal mode is the same, but the performance of each person's successful cultivation is slightly different. Just like Naruto and Jiraiya, they are both learning the magic of Mount Miamu, but one is the perfect magic mode, and the other is almost impossible. Orochimaru quickly mastered the perfect fairy mode, which is a magical skill. It is rare for him to achieve such success at his age. This is the power of knowledge, and Orochimaru is now very grateful to his blackened self for paving his way. Others are crossing the river by feeling the stones, while Orochimaru has already crossed the river with a cruiser. Is this comparable? The natural energy is very powerful, but there are no people in the village who have mastered the magic anymore, so it is also impossible to sense the magic energy. Moreover, Orochimaru's magic is extremely perfect, able to perfectly conceal his own breath, making it difficult for others to detect any clues. Having mastered the immortal mode, Orochimaru began to cultivate magical moves, such as the white stimulation technique and inorganic reincarnation, which he had already mastered. Orochimaru aimed to develop his own exclusive magical skills. He possesses 5 chakra attributes, and theoretically, Naruto's ultimate moves, the Wind Escape Spiral Hand Sword and the Big Jade Spiral Marble, can be learned. But these require more proficient practice to achieve. After all, he has not learned these 2 ninjutsus in his hundreds of years of memory. After all, they are all immortal spells belonging to the Laiya family. We all know the principles, but there is still a difference between theoretical knowledge and practical experience. Orochimaru also failed countless times before mastering Orochimaru. But Foam Dun's spiral sword in hand is too difficult, and for Orochimaru, further research and practice are needed. After all, although his current immortal mode is very perfect, the duration is still too short, and practicing immortal moves is a long-term process. The magic mode can be used as a killer weapon because his current strength is not strong enough. Even if he uses the magic mode, he can at most fight his wrist with the weakest shadow level. Now, when used in conjunction with the Great Snake Maru 5-dun ninja technique, the strength has reached the level of upper ninja. It should be noted that now Zilai and Gangshou are both at the level of middle ninja. Does Shiwan practice the immortal technique moves overnight without any fatigue? Absorbing natural energy can make people feel refreshed, enhance their physical fitness, and even increase their lifespan. Orochimaru knows that in order to have a say in this world of ninja, he needs to have strong strength. The reason why the organization can call for wind and rain is that their strength surpasses that of the ninja world. Hundreds of years of memory told him that hiding one's time and nurturing one's abilities were the key. Chongmen is impressive, it's been played around by Yuzhibo. Bring the local ox to break it. I was deceived by Yuji Boban and limped. Yuji Boban is abnormal, he has been taken out by Heiju. De Guan Mu Huiyi is invincible, sealed by Ming Sakura. These people are all very high-profile figures, dying or sealing, and their fate is very tragic. On the contrary, they lived to the end and endured the death of all the masters. This was also an alternative invincibility, but later found out that it was not the life he wanted. Facing the whole world alone, he didn't want to experience it again. He needed a companion. Orochimaru returned to the training ground, and Tsunade felt as if nothing had happened. Seeing Orochimaru still as usual, he felt very uncomfortable even from scratch. Sure enough, as long as he doesn't feel awkward, it's others who are awkward. Orochimaru looked at Jiraiya with a gloomy expression and found it very interesting. This guy is still so funny, after all, the brain circuits of fools are always so strange. Zilai also looked at Orochimaru with a disdainful expression and said, Orochimaru, I want to duel with you. If I win, you will give up pursuing Tsunade. I don't know how to bet on women, I understand, said Orochimaru as he looked at Shinji. Jiraiya said, so you dare not challenge yourself. Gangshou directly punched Laiya and said, Laiya, are you itching again? If you don't hit the house and expose the tiles for 3 days. Chapter 7. Heroes from Laiya's Counterattack. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Zilai also said timidly, Orochimaru, would you hide behind a woman? Deshimaru is also a bit funny. It seems that he has made great progress during this period and has the courage to challenge himself. It seems that entering Miamu Mountain has also made Zilai drift. It's time to tap him, I can't distinguish between big and small kings. Do you not believe in my strength? Even if my strength is strong, it is impossible to defeat me. This is the pride of a genius, said Orochimaru in front of Tsunade Gangshou. Then I'll applaud for you next to me. Zilai was even more angry. The girl he liked looked down on him and instead knelt and licked the cold snake pill, which he found completely unacceptable. Jiraiya. Orochimaru, look at my new move. Tuduan. Huangquan Marsh, a swamp appeared at the feet of Orochimaru, trapped in it and unable to move. Fire escape. Flame bullet. Before Orochimaru could react, an inflamed bullet flew towards Orochimaru in the swamp of the Yellow Spring. Tsunade was nervous and wanted to shout, but the inflamed bullet only hit Orochimaru's stunt double. And the main body of Orochimaru has been watching Jiraiya's performance with ease. Zillai also looked at Orochimaru and said, "It's a stunt double. When were you, damn it, you used stunt double from the beginning. What a scam." Orochimaru said, "Ninjas cannot take it for granted. It's my turn, Raiden." Serpentine. Zillai's face changed greatly, and it turned out that Orochimaru was capable of lightning evasion and was so powerful. How did he deal with this? Unconvinced, Zillai also directly used the telepathic technique, and the Toad leader took the blow on behalf of Zillai, leaving the external focus and internal tenderness electrified. It's not that the Toad boss wants to resist, but just as he was teleported, he looked bewildered and was hit by Lei Dun. Toad boss. Since then, why did you let me be struck by lightning as soon as you came up? If there is no reasonable explanation, don't telepathize with me in the future. Zillai also said helplessly, "There's no way, this battle is related to my lifelong happiness. I can't bear it, only call the Toad leader to cheer." Toad boss. "Humph, I'll settle accounts with you in the future, and your opponent will be the little white face on the other side, right?" Zillai also looked at Orochimaru's pale face and said, "It's indeed that little white face. I treated him as my brother, but he played tricks on me. Let's beat him up first before we talk." Orochimaru dug out his ear with his hand and said, "Jiraiya, don't slander me. Although I'm handsome, I'm definitely not a little white-faced person. It hurts my heart to say that." Zillai also said, "The Toad leader is standing shoulder to shoulder. This is a shameful opportunity from before. Take advantage of him not signing with the spirit beast yet." Toad boss. 2-1. Look at your impressive performance, forget it, just this once, let's not make an exception. Who said I don't have any spiritual beasts? I really love Lien, come out, said Orochimaru as he looked at the one person and one toad standing upright. As soon as the three major telepathic beasts emerged, the scene immediately became crowded, and Tsunade and Zillai were also shocked. What was the situation? Big Snake Maru suddenly telepathized and produced three telepathic beasts, all of which seemed to be no weaker than Toad Boss. Zillai also said, "Orochimaru, you cheated and summoned three spirit beasts. It's really naughty." With a contemptuous smile, Orochimaru said, "You bullied me before and didn't have any spiritual beasts. You wanted 2-1, but now I want 2-1 too. That's very reasonable, isn't it?" Laiya and Toad Boss surprisingly have no words to say. They used to be so arrogant, but now they are so embarrassed. Indeed, pretending to be forced is easy to get slapped in the face. Zillai also knew that once the three great spiritual beasts appeared, he basically lost his last chance. Although he was very unwilling, the situation was stronger than humans. If he continued, he would inevitably be beaten up. Zillai also said helplessly, "Why are you so excellent, Orochimaru? You were born from Zillai, how could you be born from Orochimaru?" Orochimaru said, "Hehe, you don't understand the world of genius. I just made a slight move, it's the limit of this stage." Gangshou blushed in his eyes and said, "Orochimaru, you're amazing. You're truly the man I've been looking for." Orochimaru. Don't be obsessed with brother is just a legend. Laiya. Orochimaru looked at Jiraiya with a resentful expression on his face, but he didn't really care. Jiraiya had no hope of having a bad relationship with Gangshou, and cutting off this relationship would only benefit him. I hope you will understand in the future. The monkey flying sun / was also very shocked to learn that Orochimaru had cultivated spiritual communication skills to such an extent. Orochimaru was indeed a genius. They have been doing tasks all this time, although they are just some low-level tasks of finding cats and dogs, it is still able to cultivate a tacit understanding among the three of them. But both Gangshou and Zilai hope to do more advanced tasks and showcase their skills. Ape Flying Sun / also understands that the strength of the three disciples is rapidly increasing. It goes without saying that even after diligent cultivation, the strength of Orochimaru has also improved quite quickly. After being defeated by Orochimaru, Zilai focused all his energy on cultivation and didn't even bother to sneak peeks with Ape Flying Sun Slayer on a daily basis. It can be said that he was very hard-working. Gangshou is also proficient in psychic techniques, and during this period, she also self-taught medical ninjutsu because she felt that the team output was sufficient, but lacked someone who could heal. After all, carrying out tasks is very dangerous, especially when going out, it is easy to get injured, and there is no specialized doctor available, which makes the entire team unable to operate normally. Gangshou's study of medical ninjutsu has received unanimous agreement from Orochimaru and Jiraiya. Orochimaru knows that Gangshou is very suitable for learning medical ninjutsu, while Jiraiya simply thinks that girls are not suitable for fighting, killing, and being a wet nurse can also treat teammates. Why not? Orochimaru also knows some medical ninjutsu, after all, Do was taught by him hand in hand, and doing research and dissection requires it. Orochimaru also earns some money by doing tasks, especially when dealing with mountain bandits. He always secretly hides a portion of the money, after all, his research results require a lot of money to be spent. In order to save his parents, Orochimaru began to cultivate clones of his parents, and for this, he spent all his savings and continued to increase funds. For this reason, Orochimaru is crazily working on tasks, and Ape Flying Sun / only wants to pursue a sense of achievement in tasks or hone his own cultivation achievements. Gangshou also advised Orochimaru not to work so hard. Orochimaru always said coolly, "If I didn't work so hard, how could I possibly catch up with you from the prestigious family of Kiba?" In just one sentence, Gangshou was in a sweet dream, unable to express the idea of persuading Orochimaru to give up on the task. Zilai was the same way. He and Orochimaru were just like they had agreed, working frantically on tasks. When asked, he would say, "Do you believe in light? It's so fulfilling to take all the tasks." Chapter 8. Testing Cultivation Achievements. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Monkey Flying Sun / General Orochimaru, and Tsunade and Zilai also shout to the training ground. During this period, Monkey Flying Sun Slayer has been very busy, and the situation in various countries is tense, requiring him to carry out many secret tasks, which can also be considered a test for him. Today, I finally have time to test the cultivation achievements of the three disciples whom I haven't seen for a long time. First of all, there is Orochimaru. Orochimaru is the favorite disciple of the Monkey Flying Sun / Not only is he very talented, but he also works very hard. He always has some novel views on ninjutsu. Gangshou is relatively average, except for a slightly hot-tempered personality, everything else is relatively good. Since then, he has always been a thorn in the head. Since losing to Orochimaru and learning psychic skills, he has also worked very hard in his cultivation. Although he can't get out of tune normally, his strength is still relatively careless. Orochimaru used the technique of Sword Shadow Clone in his hand, and Ape Flying Sun / was very happy. This was a high-level ninjutsu that he had not yet taught. Monkey Flying Sun / said to Orochimaru with satisfaction, "Well done. I even secretly learned my specialty ninjutsu, it's not easy." Zilai disdainfully said, "What's so powerful about this? Look at me. The sword in my hand. The technique of throwing it randomly." On the side, Ape Flying Sun / looked at Laiya with an expectant expression on his face, only to find that he had thought too much. Laiya, that idiot, how could he possibly learn? He mastered things unrelated to color very slowly. Gangshou said speechlessly, "Laiya, are you here to be funny? You also have the technique of throwing swords in your hand. I'm sorry. Zilai also had a slight expression on his face and said, you don't understand brother's humor. Monkey Flying Sun said, once again, grab the bell. This time, you will also fight with all your might. Let me see your strength. Orochimaru. Finally, we can have a thrilling battle. Gangshou raised his small fist and said, Teacher Yuanfei, I won't show mercy. Zilai also said, Teacher Yuanfei, it's time to show my true strength. The three of them instantly disappeared in place, hiding their respective breath to prevent being discovered. Monkey Flying Sun is very satisfied. This time, even the fool Zilai has learned to hide himself. It seems that several students have grown. Before Ape Flying Sun could find them, the three of them simultaneously used the technique of sword in hand. However, depending on the quantity, it can still be concluded that the technique of sword shadow in hand was performed by Orochimaru. Tuduan. Tuliu Wall, the Monkey Flying Sun blocked all the swords in the hands of the three, and then counterattacked with a single move of the sword shadow splitting technique. The swords in his hands covered the entire sky, and the three of them were facing a formidable enemy. Gangshou punched the ground directly, blocking a large piece of land beside him. Orochimaru summoned the triple Rashomon directly, and Zilai also used the earth flow wall to block the sword in his hand. It was truly the 8 immortals crossing the sea, each displaying their divine abilities. Ape Flying Sun watched as everyone blocked his sword and began to swiftly approach Orochimaru, using his physical skills to engage in close combat. The Shimaru's physical skills are not inferior to those of the Monkey Flying Sun and for a while, there were ups and downs in the battle. Gangshou also joined in the battle, and the Whaley Fist made it difficult for the Monkey Flying teacher to bear. Laiya's addition actually reduced the burden on the Monkey Flying teacher. Because Zilai also disrupted the rhythm of Gangshou and Orochimaru's attacks, allowing Ape Flying Sun to take the opportunity to widen the distance. Fire Escape. Flame Bullet, the Monkey Flying Sun directly used its skilled fire escape, and the Great Snake Maru quickly blocked the water escape formation wall. However, the fire bullets of the Monkey Flying Sun kept coming one after another, making the water formation wall unable to resist. Zilai quickly used the earth flow wall to block it, and Orochimaru took the opportunity to use the triple Rashomon gate, which was the only way to counteract Teacher Ape Fei's inflammatory bullet. Orochimaru. Let's take action together, there's only one chance. The Art of Teleportation. The same move appeared on Gangshou and Laiya, a burst of smoke appeared, and the three great spirit beasts appeared in front of the Ape Flying Sun Ape Flying Sun's face was full of pride and he said, I didn't expect my disciples to have spiritual companions. Come out, old buddy. The monkey demon appeared and looked at the three great spirit beasts, which were also full of war intent. The Monkey Flying Sun quickly said, Monkey demon, it's just a competition, don't make heavy moves. The fighting spirit of the monkey demon has subsided a bit, and its inability to fight with all its might has made it very unhappy. However, looking at all the children on the other side, it cannot strike hard, after all, they are all young people. Since he couldn't fully enjoy himself, the monkey demon simply turned into the Rui Golden Hoop Stick, allowing the Monkey Flying Sun to unleash its full potential as a spectator. Orochimaru also knows the power of the monkey demon, after all, the plan of the collapse of the wooden leaf is still vivid in his memory. If it weren't for the monkey demon's strength, he wouldn't have lost some of his soul in both hands. The Shimaru commanded Wanshi to launch an attack, after all, summoning the monkey demon by Teacher Ape Fei meant the battle would end quickly, and now Wanshi is not yet a match for the monkey demon. Toad Water Cannon, Slug Strong Acid Solution, Powerful Strangulation by 10,000 Snakes, the three spiritual beasts used their respective skills, while the Monkey Flying Sun used the Water Escape Formation Wall to block the two ninjutsu techniques. They also used the Rui golden hoop stick to avoid the powerful strangulation of the 10,000 snakes. Orochimaru and Tsunade also used the technique of sword and shadow clone in their hands, taking advantage of Teacher Ape Flying's inability to borrow power in the air. The monkey flying sun took a bite of old phlegm. The wall of the earth-escaping formation blocked countless swords in his hand. Orochimaru and Tsunemoto used the technique of instant movement to come directly behind Teacher Ape Fei and grab the bell. As for Zilai, he also focused on making a name for himself and had long forgotten the original intention of the battle to grab the bell. Therefore, even if he saw Orochimaru and Tsunade take action, he was one step too late. Gangshou held the bell and smiled, saying, "Teacher Ape Fei, you lost." Monkey Flying Sun watched as Gangshou and Orochimaru, who were holding the bell, also withdrew the monkey demon. The three great spirit beasts also finished their mission and returned to their respective holy lands. You all performed well, even though Zilai didn't grab the bell, it was still not satisfactory, said Monkey Flying Sun. Jean Zilai also said, "You two are too cunning. While I'm still attacking Teacher Ape Flying, go grab the bell." Gangshou rolled his cute big white eyes and said, "Since then, you didn't even want to stand out, you forgot to grab the bell." Zilai also angrily said, "Gangshou, you use unreasonable language." Monkey Flying Sun Jean watched as the two of them started arguing again and said, "Stop arguing. I have something to announce today. I have a task to do recently, so you can practice on your own. If you have any questions, wait for me to come back and answer them together." Gangshou. Teacher Yuanfei, that's great. Bah, when will the teacher be back? Monkey Flying Sun / I'm not sure about that. Anyway, you should practice well. After I leave, Orochimaru will be your captain, and everything must be approved by him. Zilai stopped working and said, "Why do we need his consent? Even if he's a little stronger than me, I'm smarter than him. Do we have to listen to him for everything?" Chapter 9. Three Little Ones of Individual Effort. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Gangshou angrily retorted, "Since then, don't flatter yourself. You are even smarter than Orochimaru, and your strength is just a little bit inferior. I have never seen such a shameless person before." Zilai's face turned green and white, and he said, "Gangshou, you're too inclined towards Orochimaru. Do you really like him?" Gangshou Shigeki said, "Zilaya, what are you talking about? How could I like Orochimaru? I'm so shy." Zilai also looked at the shy Gangshou and felt that he had been hit. Faced with being a terrifying mother Tyrannosaurus Rex, but gentle little white rabbit towards Orochimaru, the difference was too big, right? "Okay, don't worry, Teacher Monkey Flying, I will take good care of them," said Orochimaru. Monkey Flying Sun patted the shoulder of Orochimaru and smiled with satisfaction. Orochimaru was his most trusted and proud disciple, and he felt very relieved when entrusted with it. The Monkey Flying Sun / immediately left, leaving behind three little ones. Zilai and Gangshou Big Eyes were against Little Eyes, and no one was convinced. Orochimaru said, "Starting from today, I need to continue doing tasks. Only in this way can I exercise my abilities. Who will follow me?" Gangshou really wanted to follow Orochimaru to complete the mission, but the cultivation of Shirgu Forest has not been completed yet, so he did not follow Orochimaru either. Since then, it has been even more so. Following Orochimaru has lost the opportunity to stand out, which has made him very unhappy. Moreover, it is difficult for him to experience these tasks, and they cannot accept tasks that are too difficult. The task of Big Snake Pill is also for its own layout. After all, it can go out of the village openly and honestly and hide from the eyeliner of the village. Orochimaru would not believe that there was no one monitoring in the village. During the reign of the second-generation Hokage Kazuma, every ninja was under the surveillance of the dark side. Orochimaru is usually careful enough, but it is not ruled out that those with intentions will discover his secret. After all, mastering the art of immortality is shocking and shocking. In my memory, I was a task maniac, with 16 D.level tasks, 332 C.level tasks, 521 B.level tasks, 491 A.level tasks, and 109 S.level tasks. Orochimaru felt suffocated on his own, but fortunately he didn't tire himself to death, and the danger level of many tasks now makes him shudder. Now I need to go through the task process again and collect the resources I need. After all, there are 2 gold-swallowing beasts at home that need to be fed. The cultivation of cloned humans requires a large amount of funding and equipment updates, so Orochimaru chose tasks with high remuneration and high external benefits. These tasks can allow him to earn a lot of money, especially in the task of eliminating mountain bandits and pirates. The means used can completely give their money to enrich his research funds. Orochimaru is very aware of the importance of money, especially since the organization Kadoku is now sure to be very compatible with him. Money cannot buy everything, but without money, it is absolutely impossible. Shao organization is so powerful, and it is also an employment organization. That is to say, if you give the Shao organization enough money, they can even help you destroy a country. That's why money can make ghosts grind. Orochimaru's frantic pursuit of tasks did not cause unnecessary trouble. As a commoner, his desire for money is understandable, and it is said that he has a close relationship with Princess Tsunade of the Chisho family, with high expenses being normal. Orochimaru doesn't know the reason why everyone is brainwashing him, and even if he knows, he would still be happy to see it succeed. Anyway, he just wants to update the device and let his parents' clones grow quickly. You should know that in order for clones to grow rapidly, they need sufficient nutrient solution, and the faster they grow, the more money they need. Every time Shimaru's mission reward is spent on preparing nutrient solution, sometimes he even wants to borrow money from Gangshou and eat soft rice directly. Fortunately, there is still time to prepare. Orochimaru only needs to work harder than before and take on a few more tasks. It seems that even with a heavy workload, one cannot escape the fate of a mission maniac. Orochimaru feels exhausted all over, and you should know that he is also close to the recovery power of the immortal body. It's okay, I lived another day. Orochimaru took on tasks day after day, completed them, and received rewards. Life was fulfilling and tiring. These days lasted for 3 or 4 years, and finally came to a critical moment when the wheels of history began to turn. The strength of Orochimaru can be said to have reached the level of his own 3 ninja period, even stronger. After all, the bonus of the immortal mode is very terrifying. Now, Orochimaru has finally successfully cultivated clones of his parents and can replace them in carrying out tasks. The key is that even if parents knew they would die in that war, they would not hesitate to choose to participate. After all, this is the fate of ninjas. However, Orochimaru also has a solution, which is to knock them unconscious and send clones to play. Even if they resent themselves afterwards, it doesn't matter as long as they live. Orochimaru did not allow his parents to leave him again in this lifetime. They had not yet enjoyed the joy of family and died young, which was also one of the reasons for his blackening. Because there is no one who cares, it doesn't matter what one does, and it doesn't matter what the world becomes. When darkness comes, join it. This is the life of Orochimaru. To change one's destiny, one must start by saving one's parents, then go to Tsunade's younger brother, Sugiki, and finally marry Tsunade and become Hokage. Of course, all of this needs to be built on strength. Although his strength is very strong now, it is still far from enough for the Shao organization and the Six Paths Band, let alone the Otoku clan. Orochimaru has now started researching ways to become stronger, as he has no blood mark limit and his growth limit is beyond shadow level, making it difficult to reach 6 levels. The threshold for becoming a level 6 is to have opportunities like Sasuke and Naruto, to have top-notch pupillary bloodlines like the reincarnation eye, to become a 10-tailed pillar of strength, and to become a level 6 like Otakuni Kagaya. The first type is the chance of being the son of luck. Unless you take them away, there is hope for success, especially Sasuke. He was already too careless, otherwise he might have succeeded last time. The second type is to seize the reincarnation eye of Changmen, but it can also attract the attention of Uchiha, leading to premature exposure of oneself. This is not something that old Six should do. The third option is to become the 10-tailed human pillar force, which is equally dangerous. This means it is too difficult to snatch the 10 tails from the hands of two Uchiha laughing 4 heroes. The fourth is very difficult to achieve. It is too difficult to seize and give up the Big Barrelwood clan. After all, their souls are very powerful, and it is highly likely that they will steal the chicken and not erode the rice. Chapter 10. The gear of fate starts to rotate. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Orochimaru is not worried. There is still a lot of time, and everything is in time. As someone who can make it to the end, this time it will only be stronger. However, with the constraints of family and peers, this increases the difficulty. However, with the advantage of foresight, Orochimaru has greater space to operate. Although teacher Ape Fei did not say what mission to execute, Orochimaru, who knew all the plot, knew it. The second generation of Huoying Qianshou will lead some elites to negotiate with Yunin village. After all, the aftermath of World War I has not completely ended. Yuninkun's second generation Thunder Shadow AI, along with Golden Horn and Silver Horn, negotiated with my village's second generation Fire Shadow Qianshou in Yunlei Gorge near Yunin village. The reason why it is set here is because my village is in a dominant position. If it is too close to my Yuninkun may be too afraid to come. After World War I, Kiba was also severely weakened. Although the second-generation Hokage Kazuma used his strength to intimidate the major ninja villages, he also felt that he was becoming increasingly powerless. After all, the second-generation Hokage is already in its 30s, and it would be very dangerous if it could not allow Kiba to break free from the shadow of World War I. Although Orochimaru knows everything, he has no intention of stopping it. Although the second-generation Hokage Kazuma is an excellent Hokage, it is not good for the Kiba family and ninjas, just for the village. The imperial technique of the second-generation Hokage Qianshou is even more exaggerated. Under his leadership, all major families have become vassals, and in order to balance the power of each family, some shady measures have been taken. Orochimaru has a strong voice in these methods. After all, he has seen many of them from Tanzang. He has done a lot of dirty work, and some of them have become commonplace. If you want to be Hokage, you are not just someone with strength. Without scheming, you are like Zhujian and Naruto, who will only be treated as a scapegoat by others. When the second-generation Huoying Qianshou saw the sincere second-generation Laiya waiting for him, he was also very happy. After all, Yuninkun took the initiative to negotiate with Kiba, which was still very good. But what shocked Qianshou Fei was that the Golden Horn and Silver Horn suddenly went into trouble, and the second-generation Thunder Shadow was directly taken into the purple gold and red gourd. The second generation of Hokage, with its 1,000-handed gates, carries the elites of 6 major families. Apes fly and the sun slay, Ji village gathers, turns to sleep in spring, the autumn path draws the wind, Uchiha mirrors, and Mito Gate in flames. 7 people faced the siege of more than 20 elites, including the Golden Horn and Silver Horn, and found it very difficult. Yuji Boeing temporarily controlled the incoming enemy using illusion, and the second-generation Huoying Qianshou took the opportunity to use the Flying Thunder God technique to leave Yunlei Gorge with them. Jin Jiao. Damn it, chase after me. Even if the second-generation Hokage moves 6 people at once, it won't be able to run far. Don't act rashly when you encounter them, wait for everyone to gather and completely annihilate them. Silver Horn. Nissan, the second-generation Hokage is too slippery. It's too difficult to keep him. Focus on his 6 guards, kill them, and Mu Yi will spend half of it. Jin Jiao said, indeed, this time the gods and ghosts unknowingly killed the second generation. From now on, I will be the 3rd generation Thunder Shadow. Let's see who dares to disobey the orders of our gold and silver brothers. This time, Jin Jiao and Yin Jiao went to great lengths to kill the second-generation Thunder Shadow and the second-generation Fire Shadow. They contacted several major ninja villages that were enemies of the Fire Country's My Village, and finally gathered more than 20 elite members to go up to ninja. Jin Jiao even pre-arranged and had already collected the words and spirits of the second-generation Thunder Shadow, using the purple gold and red gourd to seal it. The numerous elites who made a last-minute attack, Shangren, did indeed take down the second-generation Thunder Shadow along with their loyal guards. However, the second-generation Fire Shadow, after all, possessed the spatial ninja technique of Flying Thunder God, which allowed them to escape. However, Jin Jiao and Yin Jiao are very confident that as long as they can severely damage the vitality of Mu Yi, they can achieve their goals. They can also push the death of the second-generation Laiya onto the second-generation Huoying, which can be said to be a remarkable feat looking at the elites of the 6 major families in front of them. The second-generation Huoying Qianshou made a quick decision. Second-generation Hokage. We are surrounded, and there are 20 people on the opposite side. Based on our tracking ability, we should be elite troops from Golden Horn and Silver Horn. Turning to Xiaochun, he said, and we'll add the Fire Shadow Talent 7. Mito Gate Inflammation. In this situation, someone must be used as bait to lure them away. Xiao Dao took the wind and said, "Is it a bait? It will definitely be fatal. Who will go?" The atmosphere suddenly reached freezing point, and the second-generation Huoying Qianshou looked at the 6 guards very seriously. Yuji Bojing, turning to sleep in early spring, the autumn path brings the wind, Jitsuan Tuanzang, monkey flying sun slaying, Mito Gate inflammation, each person's reaction is different. In the midst of disappointment in the second generation of Huoying Qianshou, Ape Flying Sun suddenly stood up and said, "I'll come." Although the sound of the monkey flying sun was not loud, it was loud and powerful at this moment. As the deputy captain of the team, he had always been the vanguard and never gave up. Monkey Flying Sun slapped the still silent Tuanzang and said, "Tuanzang, in the future, everyone will rely on you. It's your words." Jitsuan Tuanzang suddenly opened the hand of Ape Flying Sun Slayer and said, "Shut up, I was supposed to raise my hand. Don't be cool alone, I'll make the bait." Monkey Flying Sun Tuanzang. At this moment, the second generation Hokage said with 1,000 hands, "Of course I will make the bait. You are all inheritors of the will of fire to protect the village in the future." Jitsuan Tuanzang said, "No, you're Huoying. There's no stronger person in the village than you." Qianshou said, "Tuanzang, you always compete with monkeys, but what you need now is unity among companions. Don't carry personal grudges, your indecisiveness has become a fact. Firstly, examine yourself, stay calm, know what you are doing, and if you continue, you will put your peers in a difficult situation. In short, Tuanzang and Monkey, you are still young and that moment will always come. Before that, keep your own lives. Monkey, protect those who admire the village and trust you, and then cultivate them to become someone who can entrust the next era. From tomorrow on, you will be the Fire Shadow. Monkey, the leaves of wood will be handed over to you." Everyone looked shocked, especially Tuanzang clenched his hands in disbelief, but in the end, all 6 of them accepted this fact. Qianshou looked at the crowd and said, "There is only one chance. I will do my best to hold them back. Monkey group, remember to break through towards the east." The Art of Darkness, Flying Thunder God Jin Jiao said, "Why did it suddenly get dark? It's not good. This is the second generation Hokage's dark art, everyone be careful." "Ah, you." An elite on the east side suppressed his heart and let out a final mournful cry. The monkey flying sun slayer took the opportunity to leave quickly. The second generation Huoying Qianshou watched as the escaped monkey flying sun beheaded 6 people, with a cruel smile on his lips.